2026 is shaping up to be one of the biggest years yet for survival games. From massive reboots to small indie games, the lineup is packed, brutal, cozy, and everything in between. In this video, we'll go over the most promising survival games coming next year, plus a few hidden gems you don't want to miss. Stick around till the end because one of these might be your next obsession. Light No Fire. From creators of No Man's Sky, Light No Fire might be the most ambitious survival project ever attempted. A fully explorable fantasy planet in size of Earth, built for multiplayer exploration, survival and creation. Set on a living, procedurally generated world without boundaries. The game blends RPG-style progression with survival mechanics and shared online persistence. Every mountain can be climbed, every ocean crossed, and every discovery truly belongs to the players who find it. You can build permanent settlements with friends from communities or set off solo to find unclaimed lands. The world is dense with ancient ruins, mystical creatures, and natural wonders, all shaped by fantasy rather than science fiction. A world of dragons, mysteries, and forgotten civilizations. Mountains, sailing, and flight are all part of exploration, letting players traverse in the world in ways that feel organic and free. And because every structure is persistent, the marks players leave behind become part that shape the planet's history. If No Man's Sky gave us a universe to explore, Light No Fire promises something even bolder. One seamless Earth-sized world where survival, imagination, and discovery never ends. Blight Survival. Blight Survival blends medieval brutality with roguelike tension. A grim co-op action horror game for up to 4 players, set in a no man's land between dying kingdoms. In this war-torn purgatory, a new plague called the Blight spreads through the corpses of the fallen, twists the dead into monsters. You play as one of the Right Hand's mercenaries tasked with cutting out the infection's heart before it devours the world. Every expedition means risking everything. Venture too far and a single mistake could end your run and erase your progression. Combat is grounded, bloody, and skill-based. Sword swings have weight, parries and dodges matter, and every strike feels lethal. It's designed as a fusion of medieval realism and modern extraction mechanics. Fight, loot, decide whether to retreat with your spoils or press deeper into the blight-ridden world for greater rewards. Armor, weapons, and talents can all be customized, giving players freedom to experiment with builds and tactics. But nothing comes easy. Death is permanent and greed is punished. With its haunting, beautiful world, cooperative survival design, and punishing risk, reward loop, Blight Survival could be the first true medieval answer to Dark Souls and Escape from Tarkov, where every expedition is both a crusade and a gamble. Cairn from the Game Breakers turns climbing itself into survival. You play as Ava, a professional mountaineer attempting to reach the peak of Mount Kami, a summit no one has ever conquered. Every move is deliberate, every mistake counts, and fall is waiting to happen. The climbing feels real. You place each hand and foothold yourself, constantly balancing stamina, posture, and a grip. It's not just reaching to the top, it's about reading the rock face, adapting, and surviving the climb. Every wall feels like a boss fight, but one fought with persistence instead of weapons. You manage supplies like food, water, chalk, and pythons while setting up bivouacs to rest and plan your route. The mountain is fully open. You can climb anywhere, but every path carries a risk. I've played the demo and it's tense but strangely cozy, quiet, focused and incredibly immersive, and it's completely different take on a survival genre, and it might just be one of the biggest surprises next year. From the creators of Fury and Haven, Cairn transforms endurance itself into storytelling. Guardians of the Wild Sky. From the creators of Slender, The Arrival and Valley, Blue Isle Studios returns with something completely different. Guardians of the Wild Sky, a creature collecting survival game set among floating islands and airborne castles. You explore a vast world with drifting biomes filled with magical beasts called Guardians. Each one has unique traits and elemental powers. They're not just pets but companions that fight, build, and evolve alongside you. You can breed them, train them, and have them help maintain your floating base or airship crew. Building in a wild sky goes far beyond a simple shelter. You can craft anything from humble sky cottages to massive flying fortresses. Hundreds of tools, weapons, and crafting options let you shape the skies however you want, complete with cooking, farming, and fishing systems that keep your base alive above the clouds. Exploring brings danger. You dive into ancient dungeons, fight titans, beasts, and battle the cultists, mysterious skybound foes who threaten the balance of this world. Whenever solo or in a co-op with friends, every flight into the unknown feels like a new expedition. It's part survival, part Pokemon, and part skyfaring dream. A rare mix of creativity, companionship, and discovery that might just take the genre to new heights. Road to Vostok. Road to Vostok is a single-player hardcore survival FPS set on the Finnish-Russian border after the collapse of civilization. The concept is simple but brutal: survive, scavenge, and prepare. Then, risk it all by crossing into Vostok, a perma-death zone where one bullet can erase everything you've built. You begin in Area 05, a semi-safe region with shelters, traders, and bandits. Here you gather loot, complete barter-based tasks, and slowly gear up for the next step: the minefield and the border zones. Guarded checkpoints filled with traps and enemy patrols. Beyond them lies Vostok itself, the high-risk, high-reward endgame area where every death wipes your save. Everything is built around realism, advanced gunplay, ballistic physics, and survival mechanics shaped by weather, hunger, and fatigue. Loot is fully physical, no fixed spawns, and trading uses bartering instead of money. The shelter system lets you save progress, customize interiors, and store loot safely, giving each playthrough a grounded, personal rhythm. Seasons change from summer to winter, bringing new survival challenges. A dynamic world adds a day-night cycle, weather patterns, airdrops, and faction events that make each run unpredictable. The result feels like a fusion of Escape from Tarkov and The Long Dark, but purely single player. Tactical atmospheric survival sim built entirely by one developer. If Road to Vostok delivers on its promise, it could become the definitive solo survival shooter, one that finally rewards patience, planning, and precision over chaos. You can play the demo now and see if Vostok is for you. Of Peaks and Tides. Of Peaks and Tides is an open-world survival crafting game built on Eastern mythology. Developed by Kane Cook Games, it aims to merge the beauty of myth with the unpredictability of physics-driven survival. You awaken as a wanderer in a lush land, a world shattered by an ancient war between heaven and man. Once blessed by deities, this land now lies in ruins. Storms, floods, and colossal beasts roam freely. Everything in the world reacts to your actions. Trees fall, rivers rise, weather shifts, and your choices ripple through the environment. Survival here is about adaptation. You can build from scratch, from a small camp beneath the mountain to a massive fortress capable of resisting divine calamities. Seasons, disasters, and shifting ecosystems constantly test how well you can read and respond to the world. Combat is equally dynamic. You can face enemies head-on with weapons and skills, or use the terrain to your advantage. Burn forests, flood battlefields, or lure creatures into chaos. There's no single right answer, only clever improvisation. The game's most striking feature is taming and bonding with giant mythical creatures. These creatures can be your allies, mounts, or living tools, essential for exploration and survival. Of Peaks and Tides looks like one of the most ambitious survival titles of 2026, a fusion of world-shaping physics, ancient mythology, and player-driven creation that promises to make every storm and sunrise feel alive. Breathedge 2. Breathedge 2 takes an absurd, darkly comedic tone of the first game and expands it into a full-blown space survival adventure, bigger, stranger, and still brilliantly self-aware. Once again, you play as the man, stuck dealing with the ridiculous aftermath of intergalactic corporate greed. Your mission? Take down the Breathedge Corporation once for all, ideally without suffocating, starving, or losing your sanity along the way. This time, survival spans multiple star systems. Each zone has its own rule, resources, hazards, and enemies, from derelict wrecks and dead passengers floating in orbit to bizarre alien life forms that run, fly, and even roll towards you. You now command your own spaceship, upgrade its modules, and pilot it between star systems. Every part can be customized, some helpful, others hilariously useless. On the ground or in zero-G, you'll drive vehicles, haul loot, and yes, open those perfectly satisfying trunks. Crew management adds a new survival twist. Your companions each have their own skills, flaws, and personal agendas. Treat them well and they'll keep your ship running. Ignore them and mutiny might be your next cosmic event. Packed with exploration, crafting, and sarcastic charm, Breathedge 2 looks to blend real survival depth with absurd humor, proving once again that space can kill you in style. POLYARIS. POLYARIS is a co-op sci-fi survival game set in the frozen no-man's land between Norway and Russia, a haunting Arctic frontier scattered by nuclear disaster. You play as an engineer and polar explorer, stranded after a mysterious explosion cuts you off from the rest of the world. Alone in the middle of the melting glaciers and radio silence, your mission is simple: survive, adapt, and uncover what really happened. The game blends story-driven exploration with sandbox survival. You ski across a vast, procedurally generated tundras, use your ship as a mobile base, and scavenge resources to keep you warm and alive. Systems like hunger, thirst, fatigue, and dynamic weather can be customized to fit your preferred level of realism. Your ship isn't just a transport, it's a lifeline. You upgrade its navigation system, customize modules, and push deeper into the storm to uncover clues about the world's collapse. Craft weapons, tools, and survival gear to fend off wildlife and other threats. No zombies here, just the cold, hunger, the isolation of the endless Arctic night. For the fans of the long dark, the forest of the Sunkland, POLYARIS offers that same mix of beauty, loneliness, and quiet dread. Survival at the edge of the world where every sound might be the ice breaking beneath your feet. Rooted. Rooted is a post-apocalyptic game set around the year 2100, where a global bacteriological warfare has wiped out civilization. You're one of the few survivors left, rebuilding life among the ruins and the world reclaimed by nature. A world where some regions have healed while others remain deadly and toxic. Built in Unreal Engine 5, Rooted emphasizes immersion and atmosphere. You'll explore abandoned cities, scavenge old world technology and construct camps in forest, villages or skyscraper rooftops. Whether you're playing solo or co-op, everything revolves around scavenging, crafting and upgrading, salvaging all mechanical and electronic components to restore what's lost. The game's VoIP system brings realism to co-op play, letting players communicate naturally in the field while managing dangers like friendly fire. Drones, traps and automated defenses expand your survival toolkit, helping you secure your outpost and push deeper into urban zones that remain poisoned by war. Rooted also features evolving environments. As you clean, build and explore, the world itself changes. Dynamic weather, environmental recovery and new threats keep the experience alive. Rooted aims to deliver grounded survival where every discovery, salvage and mistake tells your story. Under a Rock. Under a Rock is a vibrant co-op survival crafting game for up to 10 players, blending exploration, discovery and creativity on a mysterious procedurally generated island. You play as an early 19th century explorer stranded in the hidden world untouched by time, a lush, colorful land where evolution took a very different path. Massive beasts, strange creatures and curious native tribes await as you build, survive and uncover the island's secrets. Every world is unique thanks to full procedural generation, offering new biomes, weather and challenges each playthrough. Players can craft, farm, fish, hunt and construct bases ranging from small ocean huts to sprawling villages with no size limits or decoration caps. Taming and riding creatures adds another layer of survival. Some beasts can carry you across dangerous terrain, others defend your home or help gather resources. But be careful, even the cutest wildlife can be deadly when provoked. Whether you choose peaceful living, exploration or conflict with the island's inhabitants, Under a Rock promises freedom and surprise in every direction. A light-hearted yet dangerous adventure that rewards curiosity as much as courage. Jurassic Park Survival. Jurassic Park Survival is a first-person survival adventure set the day after the 1993 film, when the park's dream has already collapsed into chaos. You play as a Dr. Maya Yoshi, an InGen scientist left behind on Isla Nublar, forced to survive among the very creatures she helped bring back to life. The game combines stealth, exploration and survival in fully realized open world that recreates the island's most iconic locations, from a massive park gates to the overgrown visitors center. Dinosaurs aren't just enemies, they are creative, adaptive predators with behaviors that shift depending on your actions. Sometimes stealth will save you, other times only desperate sprint will. Unlike the typical shooter, Jurassic Park Survival focuses on evasion, resourcefulness, and environmental problem solving. You scavenge supplies, craft distractions, and use your surroundings to outsmart prehistoric hunters. Developed by Saber Interactive, the studio behind World War Z and SnowRunner, The game promises to capture both terror and a way of Jurassic Park. Return to Isla Nublar, where survival isn't just about domination, but about not becoming the part of the fossil record. Subnautica 2. Subnautica 2 looks good. Visually, mechanically, the direction on paper is strong. New biomes, new building system, co-op, better exploration tools. If you only look at the game itself, it's easy to get excited, but the state of the project is different story. The lawsuits between unknown warlords and Krafton turned everything upside down. The founding letters were fired, Krafton took control, and court documents revealed internal plans to avoid paying out massive bonuses tied to the game's success. Included a deleted ChatGPT search on how to deny those payouts, adding a task force designed to push leaders out, leak a milestone reports, and conflicting stories about delays, and you get one thing. The game looks promising, but the direction is unknown. A lot of the original hype for Subnautica 2 came from the trust in creators, and right now that trust is shaken. I'd rather support developers actually building the game than a greedy publisher, but they're stuck in the middle of a fight they didn't cause, and the project is one that can take the most damage. So here is the honest take. Subnautica 2 has a massive potential, but players should be careful dropping money on day one. Wait, watch how early access unfolds, and see if the game's direction stabilizes. Hopefully it lands where it deserves to, in the hands of community that actually wants it to succeed. Blackfrost: The Long Dark 2. Blackfrost is the long-awaited sequel to The Long Dark, expanding its quiet apocalypse into a colder, harsher, and far more human world. Developed again by Hinterland, the sequel builds on 10 years of design evolution, transforming the lonely wilderness survival formula into a full survival RPG with deep character system, cooperative play, and a new urban environments. Set in the industrial northern city of Harmond, a year after the first Aurora event plucked the world into silence, Blackfrost asks what happens when the survivor finally crawl out of the shelter. Electricity is gone, industry has frozen solid, and the radioactive storm known as the Blackfrost seeps through the ruins, mutating the land and its people. You can survive alone or in online co-op, scavenging the remains of civilization, joining NPC communities, and facing a mix of wilderness and urban hazards. The new Will to Live system adds psychological endurance to the series, familiar struggle against hunger and cold, forcing players to manage fear, doubt, and resilience alongside calories and temperature. Every survivor carries scars, both mental and physical, and the death isn't necessarily the end. The new Permalife mode transforms each death into lasting consequences, building your character's story over multiple lives. With its blend of urban decay, deep simulation, and emotional realism, Blackfrost redefines what the Long Dark means. Not just fighting against the cold, but a story about how humanity endures when even hope freezes solid. Outward 2. Outward 2 9 Dots brings back the most grounded RPG survival experience out there. A world where hunger, exhaustion, and bad weather are just as deadly as monsters. You're not a hero, you're a traveler trying to survive. Set again in the lands of Aurai, the sequel deepens every system. Camping, crafting, combat, and preparation all matter. There is no fast travel, no shortcuts. What you wear affects how you move, and what you eat keeps you alive through the cold. Combat has been rebuilt from the ground up with faster dodging, smoother combos, and proper dual wielding. Magic remains ritualistic. Casting spells means mixing runes and regens instead of pressing buttons. You start as a commoner with no powers, learning new skills from trainers scattered across the world. Outward 2 supports both online and split-screen co-op, constant autosaves, and hardcore mode, where a death can permanently end your save. It's slow, harsh, and personal. Survival as a lifestyle, not as a side mechanic. 9 Dots isn't chasing the typical RPG power fantasy, they're building a world that rewards preparation, patience, and the will to keep going. All Will Fall. All Will Fall blends dark fantasy, survival, and city building into one of the most striking post-apocalyptic concepts in years. The world has drowned beneath endless oceans, and you lead the last survivor aboard a rusting ship, searching for a single patch of land strong enough to build future on. What follows is a part survival challenge, part moral test. You'll construct towering vertical city from the wreckage of the old world, using physics-based building system that feels like Jenga under constant storm. Every support beam, platform, and walkway matters. One mistake can send your colony crashing into the waves below. Your people are divided into factions like engineers, sailors, workers, each with unique abilities and priorities. Balancing them and their morale is as important as gathering resources or managing food. Do you ration supplies and enforce order, or show mercy and risk chaos? Dynamic events like storm, political unrest, and strange oceanic phenomena keep every run unpredictable. And when your city inevitably falls, you'll carry your hand-earned lesson in the next world, building again from nothing. All Will Fall isn't about winning, it's about enduring collapse, rebuilding hope, and watching how far humanity can rise before the sea takes it all back. Honeycomb, The World Beyond. Honeycomb, The World Beyond takes survival to a new frontier, biology itself. You play as a Hennessy, a bioengineer sent by EON Corp to the distant planet Sota 7, tasked with discovering how to save humanity through genetic research and adaptation. The mission looks scientific on the paper, until the planet starts fighting back. Sota 7 is a lush alien ecosystem with strange flora, predatory fauna, and environmental hazards that demand careful observation and adaptation. As you explore, you study, splice, and crossbreed species to create new life forms. Plants that heal, animals that defend, or hybrids that shape the landscape itself. Curiosity is power here, but it can also get you killed. Your survival depends on bioengineering as much as on classical survival skills. You build a research base using hive drones, gather resources, and automate systems to sustain long-term experiments. Each biome hides new genetic opportunities, rare resources, and escalating danger. Part Subnautica, part No Man's Sky, Honeycomb, The World Beyond is about science under pressure, a game where evolution is your crafting system and understanding life itself might be the only way to keep yours. As One, We Survive. As One, We Survive blends classic survival tension with colony management and emotional storytelling. Set in post-apocalyptic America after a grit-down pandemic, you play as a father searching for help for his sick daughter. A deeply personal fight to endure when the world has already fallen apart. From a top-down perspective, you scavenge, craft, build your way through abandoned towns and dangerous wilderness. Combat is punishing and realistic. There are no medkits or magic healing, only bandages, rest and careful resource management. Every wound matters, every bullet is earned. Survival isn't just about one person. You'll recruit other survivors, expand your camp, and manage fragile community you create. As the settlement grows, you'll build facilities, secure renewable food and water, and defend against threats both human and environmental. Two game modes, story and survival, offer different experiences. One focused on narrative and emotional choices, the other on pure endurance and replayability. As One We Survive stands out for its mix of gritty realism and humanity. A reminder that sometimes the hardest part of survival isn't staying alive, it's staying together. Scavland. Scavland is a green top-down survival game set in a war-torn Soviet wasteland, swallowed by a radiation and mysterious creeping mist. You play as a vulture, scavenger scraping by on scraps, weapons that jam, and a hope of someday reaching the fabled East. A place said to be free of the mist. It's slow, methodical survival. Every bullet matters, every mistake cuts deep. You explore bunkers, ruined villages, and swamps crawling with mutants, raiders, and worse. Combat is tense and deliberate. Clunky at first, but once you master the rhythm, it becomes brutally satisfying. Better gear transforms your odds, and you can feel that shift from hunted to hunter. Factions like Gunners and Mudlarks fight for power in Zalesi, a crumbling community where everyone's just trying to stay alive. You'll trade, scavenge loot, take risky jobs, and make uneasy alliances or enemies as you crave out your place in the dying world. With its gritty art, harsh sound design, and permadeath systems, Scavland captures the raw tension of classic survival games. It's bleak, slow-burning, and strangely immersive, a hidden gem for players who want their survival with dirt under the fingernails. Ark 2. Ark 2 is Studio Wildcard's attempt to reinvent one of the biggest survival franchises ever made, a full next-generation reboot in Unreal Engine 5. Set in a primal alien world where dinosaurs, humans, and strange forces collide, you play as a Santiago, portrayed by Vin Diesel, fighting to protect his daughter Mika against ancient powers that threaten all life. The story mixes tribal survival with sci-fi mystery, pushing Ark into cinematic direction unlike anything the series has done before. Every system has been overhauled. The game now plays entirely in third person, featuring a new parkour-style movement system with climbing, mantling, and gliding. Combat shifts to deep, timing-based melee, dodges, combos, blocks, and special attacks that emphasize player skill over brute force. Survival and crafting return, but with more complexity. Weapons and tools are built from modular parts, letting you customize both appearance and function. Millions of combinations are possible. The world itself is dynamic, filled with natural disasters, roaming Aratai tribes, and reactive wildlife that hunts using sight, smell, and sound. Massive improvements to AI, building, and modding expand what players can create and share. Cross-platform mods, dynamic world events, and smarter creature behavior all point Ark 2 being both a technical and design leap for the franchise. Whether it actually delivers on its promises remain to be seen, but if it does, Ark 2 could mark the evolution of survival into something truly prehistoric and next gen at the same time. Frostpunk 1886. Frostpunk 1886 takes players back to the freezing heart of New London, but this time rebuilt in Unreal Engine with new content, deeper systems and modern visuals. Rather than a simple remaster, it's reimagined edition combining about 70% of the original game with 30% brand new material. You're written as the captain, once again responsible for leading humanity's last city through an endless winter. The signature tension between survival, morality and leadership remains, but now with a new avance, building technologies and entirely new purpose path, expanding the original Fate and Order system. Visually, the upgrade to Unreal Engine means a far richer, more atmospheric experience. Snowstorms feel heavier, the city glows warmer, and the frost creeps deeper into every corner. Mod support is finally official, allowing players to create and share new content, scenarios, and community-driven expansions. Frostpunk 1886 isn't just about survival, it's about returning to where it all began, reliving the desperate hope of the last city on Earth, and discovering what leadership really costs when the world turns into ice again. Dandelion Void. Dandelion Void might just be the most ambitious indie survival project on the horizon. Brutal atmospheric space sim from a team of former Project Zomboid modders. Imagine Zomboid's system and attention, but trapped aboard a derelict generation ship overtaken by alien jungle growth. You awaken on the Pargola, once proud interstellar ark now decaying after centuries adrift. Its farms, corridors and reactors have become overgrown by labyrinths filled with dangers both mechanical and biological. You scavenge tools, patch decaying suits, and fight against failing life support as the environment itself turns against you. Survival goes far beyond hunger and thirst. Comfort and sanity matter. Your mental state improves when you build and decorate a small livable refuge among the wreckage. A cozy corner in a reactor bay can mean difference between moral and madness. Every corridor tells a story of a failed utopia, a cold, rusted relic of humanity's last escape. The Death's Zomboid's roots show in every system, modular crafting through permadeath and full mod support including Lua scripting and custom map editor. Dandelion Void isn't about saving the world, it's about surviving what's left of one. Claustrophobic, creative and merciless. It might become the definitive Project Zomboid in space. And speaking of where survival genre is heading, there's no other game that shows it clearer than anything on this list. If you haven't seen it yet, check out my Road to Vostok preview next. It's a deep dive based entirely on the demo that's out right now, and it sets a very different bar for what one dev project can be. Some of these upcoming titles will break records, others will disappear without a sound, but every one of them pushes survival in a new direction. Which one are you the most hyped for? Drop it in the comments, and if you enjoy this kind of content, hit subscribe, like the video and turn on the notification. We are going to cover more of these games as they develop, and a few of them will get full guides and deep dive videos. And until next time, keep gaming.